We just pushed this Mini Cooper in the shop. Don, you want to tell me where this thing came from?
So this is one of our team members. He bought this 2003 Mini Cooper S for $500, sight unseen. One of the things we're going to address is it doesn't run. In fact, we don't have any power to it at all. So we're going to go around and see what we can figure out's going on with this vehicle.
Yeah, we just pushed this bad boy in. We haven't even opened the hood yet. Just got it off the trailer. He said, hey boys, build this, I want to race. So we said, okay.
Oh, it's got some upgrades.
Oh, wow.
We have an upgraded intercooler on top. This is a supercharged 1.6 liter from the factory with 163 horsepower. It seems to be more, possibly, except it doesn't run.
Yeah, sweet little intake.
Newish radiator.
See some hoses that have been replaced.
So this is the battery jump box. In the German vehicles, they have the battery in the back. Oh, carbon fiber. So you have your battery post here, and then you're going to grab a negative. I like to grab a negative post here, ground strap here. Let's grab a battery.
Wait, before we just put power to it, should we just look to see if there's even a battery in the car?
Well, in order to get to the battery in the trunk, we have to get voltage into the vehicle because the trunk
It's an electric.
is an electric
Okay.
release.
Gotcha. All right, give me some power.
Aye. Okay.
Hey,
All
it
right.
opens. Whoa. Look what I found. It's not great.
These Germans think of everything. This is a liquid-cooled battery.
Boy, howdy.
Definitely not on purpose. There is a chassis leak into the vehicle and has completely flooded the battery tray.
Well, I think we found why we don't have power.
What we got here is a digital volt ohm meter. This is a standard tool for any common mechanic these days, and if you don't know how to use them, I'm not going to teach you. So moving on here, make our connections with this terrible battery. And as you can see on the display, it says 1.774.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's a 12-volt battery, ain't it?
Correct.
Yep.
This is a 6-cell, maintenance-free, direct current battery. And in order to have all 6 cells of a 1.3 voltage common, you come out with a total of 12.6 volts. This one only has 1.7. That tells me this battery doesn't have any electrical charge in it.
Kaput.
Now that we've drained the tray from its excessive water, we are going to install this new battery that was brought to us. Got a nice snug wet fit in there.
What's this guy right here? Should we inspect this?
We should open that up. Oh,
Ooh,
well, as
Okay.
you can tell by our disgust and sounds,
a little rusty. We got a fuse in there.
we've got a main fuse junction box here for the battery, which has been soaking wet. This is an airbag igniter. In order to, when in a car wreck, this will have a miniature explosion that disconnects the battery so no fires occur. But when you soak the battery in water, fires are still probable. So I hooked my meter up to red lead to the starter signal of the solenoid of the starter and ground to a ground. Go ahead, Drew.
Key on?
Key on. Are you going to tell us what's happening? Are you doing anything?
Oh, when I said key on, that was in the start position. Sorry.
Okay, ready to go.
Okay, ignition on.
Uh-huh.
Start position. Still holding in start position.
So we do not have a starter signal. Or I don't have it connected correctly. We have two options. All right, so I re-verified that I had a good connection to the starter solenoid, which is the signal from the ignition key to the starter solenoid. Connection's good. We do not have a signal to it. I did check power to the back of the starter. So our main power into the starter is there. So now we are going to focus on the starter relay and probably the clutch switch to verify that we have operation of clutch switch, because that will keep the starter signal from working properly. so let's find out where that starter relay is.
Well, I decided to plug in this Autel scan tool to see what kind of fault codes we have before we start ripping and tearing stuff apart, trying to figure out why the starter doesn't work. So I ran a full system scan, and the only code that I'm finding pertinent to not starting is in the immobilizer module for a voltage supply code, which obviously the battery is underwater, so that kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna jump into the engine control module and see if it's getting a signal from the clutch switch. Which I could probably find clutch switch under cruise control. Yeah, there we go, clutch switch right there. So I got the key on, everything's plugged in. Let's see if that changes to active when I push the clutch in. Active, okay, so the clutch switch is working. So that's a bonus. Okay. So I wonder if I can get data from the ignition switch.
I went ahead and printed out a basic electrical diagram of the starting system for this vehicle. So at the very top, we have our fuse. I've already checked the fuse, which is under the hood. It's a 50 amp fuse, FL7. So we know that fuse is good. We don't know if the ignition switch is getting power, other than the fact that when we turn the ignition switch, we get cluster information and appropriate lighting of the dash when you're turning it to the run position. That gives me the idea that we do have power to the ignition switch. Now right here we have our electronic immobilizer control unit. This is a EWS 3.3, which is very common of the BMW series vehicles, which BMW owns Mini Cooper, so that's why it's in here. What we're gonna do is check the black and blue wire to see if when we put the vehicle into that start with the clutch depressed, if we're getting power to the EWS. And if that's happening, then we need to see if the black and yellow wire is putting power out to the starter solenoid. This is where we were testing the wire at this point here underneath, and we know we weren't getting power here. So we got to check power there, there, there. And if we have power, we will talk more about what's going on. I farted.
Uh-oh. So, okay, Don, tell me where we're at. I see you're underneath the dash here.
I need a moment. Oh, it stinks so bad. Down in here is a little gray box. Let's see if I can get the camera to show. This is our EWS 3. So this is the immobilizer system, and starter relay is inside of this box here.
Okay.
Which they don't show the relay in the diagrams, but we know that power from the ignition switch goes to this. So we're gonna use the good old super fast flamed out Power Pro.
Yeah.
And I got the one with flames because it's faster.
Duh.
So what was our pinout for the starter?
So let's see here. The starter wire is black and yellow.
Is that to the starter solenoid?
Correct.
So which one comes from the ignition?
Black and yellow. Oh wait, no, from ignition's black and blue, sorry.
So black with a blue tracer.
Yep.
Pin 2?
Pin 2, yeah.
All right, pin 2. I already have my hood prop rod jammed into the clutch so that I know that the clutch is active, so the switch will allow the immobilizer. I'll grab the key. We're gonna turn it over. Don't put that much pressure on it. Let's see if we got power. We got power from the ignition switch to the immobilizer.
Got it.
Now, it goes into the immobilizer and comes back out up here at pin 1, the black and yellow.
Correct.
There are multiple black and yellow, so make sure you're doing your pin out
black
location.
and yellow coming off of pin 1.
Pin 1. So we're gonna go pin 1, and we're gonna retry. We have 0 volts with the key to the start. I'm gonna supply power, which you should never do to a control module, but I know power is supposed to be coming out of this.
Hey, look at that.
All right, so we know that our concern is with this EWS module.
All right.
You're right, Drew. Before we disassemble the EWS, let's complete our diagnostics by checking all of the fuses.
Okay. So it looks like we have 3 5-amp fuses on fuse holder 2 on your left side in position F5. Let's start there.
I'm going to turn the key on. Fuse F5. I got nothing on F5.
Okay.
On both pegs.
Okay.
So that makes me think maybe it's powered by... Yeah, in the start position, we have 12 volts on both pegs of F5.
Perfect. So F5's good. Let's move to F24. Here, I'll turn the key for you if you need to.
F24 key on. Has power on both pegs.
Perfect. And F6 is our last one.
F6 has power on both sides of the fuse. And what we mean by that is when you pull a fuse out, we should probably pull one out and show them. Yeah, you're right if you can't figure it out from there. There are 2 spots on top of the fuse that you can actually pinpoint on each side. The fuse itself will break in the middle if it has too much amperage through it. So you check the top of both sides of the fuse, and if you have power on both sides, then the fuse is okay, usually. Sometimes you have power on one side and not the other, then the fuse has expired. That's what we were checking right now.
All right, so it looks like you got the EWS out.
I got it out, and what's interesting is it looks like someone's been muddling with it.
It does look dirty.
Darker marks on top of this thing. We have some faded numbering on it, possibly a used module, but let's crack her open and see if we can't see what secrets it withholds. So very simple, top comes off of it. Then you have these pinch joints on either side of where the electrical connector would meet it. Just pinch them in and push it out. So right here is our starter relay inside of the EWS.
I think it's funny they enclose a relay.
Yeah. Well, someone has definitely been in here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
When you're looking at the pins here, you see these gobs of solder. And the solder does not look like it has flowed properly in the system.
You can see too where they tried to scratch the board apart to clean it up. And
there is a proper way to handle circuit boards. You want to use a very high alcohol content and a soft bristle to try and clean up the contacts. So I'll get some alcohol. We'll clean that up.
Yep.
We'll resolder the joints. I might desolder, pull some of it out, and see what the connections look like. See if we can save the module. And if we can't, by reflowing it and seeing if it works, there is more options. Let's go from there.
I'm excited. Let's figure it out.
Just like brushing your teeth. Small circles, aim towards the gums. Dab dry. All right, let's try and start a fire, boys.
All right, Dr. Don, what do we got going on?
What can be unburdened from that of the past is what we are doing now. And in order for me to better explain this, I like to use Venn diagrams. You remember? You remember those
Yes,
the
I
3
do.
circles?
Please go on more.
It's the best way to get over conflict.
Oh.
So in doing so, I've found that I'm going to desolder these joints.
Yes, yes.
And you are going to be the pump man. So this pump creates a vacuum once I get this solder flowing, and it's going to suck the excessive solder out. Now I have a temperature controlled soldering iron. Always have a good tip cleaner because you want it to be as clean as possible. I've already brushed clean with a 70% isopropyl alcohol. I'm not good with words.
A big word.
So I'm going to start with this joint here.
Let's get after it.
You're going to want to hover. You want a decent connection. I'm probably going to change this tip, but it looks like I didn't have the heat up high enough. See, I'm just slowly letting that warm up. There's just gobs of solder on this. And we're only heating the top section, but I need it to flow freely enough to where it's liquid enough of you to suck off the top.
Mm.
No laughing at that. Why don't you put it on top and just create a vacuum right now and see if you can get some of it off. Go. Now you press it back down to see if you got any out. A little bit there, scrape the tip. Let's get some more out of here.
Mm.
Thank you, nurse.
Minuscule. You're welcome, doctor. Oh, God.
Please don't move the patient. Okay. Bring it in. Got some more out of there.
Yeah. All right, so my master tech here, Don, has desoldered and resoldered the relay on the EWS module. And we're going to plug it in and see if maybe it was just a bad solder connection or if the relay is indeed bad. We're not sure yet. But, yeah, Don, plug that thing in and let's give it a test.
All right. We are plugged in outside of the box, so you can just see the chip. You want to go ahead and turn the ignition? I already have the clutch depressed.
Keys in and
nothing. All right, so our relay is bad.
All right.
I wonder if we can find that on the interweb.
Well, our goal here is to make a junk car work. Yeah. And it'd be really cool if we got it working. Looking at the diagram while you were soldering that, kind of just running things through my head. What if you steal that 12-volt reference from the ignition switch and just bypass the relay?
Yeah, let me make some connections and we'll test it.
Kind of like what you're doing with your power probe and got the starter system, yeah. But let's make maybe like a permanent switch 12-volt.
Yeah. Let me see if that works. Make that happen.
So it looks like you're going to go from pin 2 to pin 1, yeah?
Yes. So cool. Pin 2 is our ignition to EWS, and pin 1 is
to the starter.
To the starter out of the EWS. So now I just jumped those together. Go ahead and try it.
Moment of truth. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
All right.
All right. Okay. That's freaking awesome.
Sounds like we're just going to loop that pin 1 right into pin 2.
Now, obvious question. Are there any repercussions to just bypassing that?
Yeah.
I just forget about it. Just move on.
I'm not going to question it.
If it works, right? All right. While Don is working on the electrical system to get this thing to start, I'm just going to do a quick fluid check because the goal is to drive this thing. So I want to make sure we got some good oil level in this thing. Make sure coolant's full because there are quite a few leaks underneath this.
Yeah. All right, that looks good.
Yeah, we're about a half quart low. Good enough to party. Let's see what we got here. So oil's okay. Coolant is coolant in there. I don't see a full. Oh yeah. Oh, it's well above max. So that's fun. But it's got coolant, so that's cool. Let's check power steering. Seems like Hulk put this thing on last. Power steering is very low, so I'm going to set this cap to the side to remind myself I need to put some in there. And let's... Brake fluid's also just above the minimum mark. So, and I think that's all we have as far as checkable fluids on this Mini. So I'm gonna grab some power steering fluid, top that off. We also have a loose alternator bolt, which really stresses me out because Bluetooth alternators tend not to work the best. So we're gonna address that too before we start beating on this thing. But also just notice too, this thing's got a smaller supercharger pulley on it, 17% from ATA. So that's actually a really neat find. So from the factory, these things are rated at 163, so maybe 175, maybe 180. That'd be cool. All right, Mini Cooper is out of the shop. My man got it running, starts every time now, and we're gonna take this son of a bitch for a test drive.
Yeah, we need to make sure that the clutch and all the gears are working before we get any further. So let's give her a test.
Hey Don, what's a Joe Dirt 500?
That's what we're here to talk about. Because involved in a Joe Dirt 500 is a gambler-like, Joe Dirt themed, car-driven, 500 or less vehicle.
So when you say cars, what do you mean? Can I bring my mom's minivan out?
Minivans are accepted, no SUVs, no trucks.
Okay.
And this is going to be an experience. We say 500 loosely because it's hard to find a $500 car these days.
So if I find one for 600, I can bring it?
That's within reason.
Okay.
It's got to be at least 1 foot out of pick and pull, something you can pick up easy, cheap, and you're going to have a blast out in the Sierra High Deserts of Nevada.
So high desert, so it's going to be rocky, dusty, possibly really cold, possibly really hot.
Yes.
We're doing this in April, right?
We are doing it in April of 2025. It is going to be an overnight camp out.
Okay. So I need good lights.
Good lights or not.
Okay.
Either way is going to be fun.
Driving by Braille is acceptable.
There are no bathrooms because most of it's going to be BLM land. So make sure you bring a shovel and you pack in what you pack out.
I heard we're going to be handing out some trophies.
There are some trophies. One of them is a time trial event.
Ah.
And what is the other one we decided on?
I think we're going to do one for best build.
Best
Whoever
build.
brings the coolest car out.
And this is going to be Joe Dirt themed. Bring your mullets, bring your America. We're here to have a good time.